All right, so this is going to be a video about L'Hopital's and how it's actually related to the limit definition of derivative. So we have this problem right here, the limit definition of derivative when the function is ln x and the input for the derivative would be 5. So if I was going to rewrite this, just looking at it as the limit definition of derivative, it would look like the following. So it would look like the derivative of ln x where you plug in 5 for x. So if you were actually doing this problem, you would know that the derivative of ln x is equal to 1 over x, and then you just simply have to plug in this 5 here to figure out the answer. So you would end up with your final answer as 1 over 5. So that's a way of doing it with the limit definition of derivatives. I'm going to show you how to do this whole thing using L'Hopital's rule, which might be easier in some cases. All right, for L'Hopital's rule, you should see that if you plug in this h as h approaches 0, you should see that you would get 0 over 0. Okay, so if you would get direct substitution, you would get 0 over 0. This 0 over 0 means that you can use L'Hopital's rule with this problem. However, you would have to differentiate the top and the bottom with respect to h, because that is where the limit is going for this problem. So that's what we're going to end up doing for this problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the derivative of the top part right here first. So I'm going to do the derivative of the top with respect to h. The derivative of ln of 5 plus h is going to be 1 over 5 plus h times the derivative of this inner function right here, which is just 1, so you don't really need to write that down, but I'll do it for fun. Okay, the derivative of this ln 5 up here is just going to be 0 because ln 5 is just a constant, so that derivative would be 0. And then we're going to be dividing this whole thing by the derivative of this h on the bottom. Okay, the derivative of h is just going to be 1. So if we do all that, we still have to have our limit as h approaches 0. But if we do all that, if you notice, we don't have that 0 over 0 anymore. So it kind of gets rid of this 0 over 0 problem that we were having, which means that we can just do direct substitution for that h. We can just put 0 in for this h right here. And if you do that, since h is going to be 0, you end up with the following. 1/5 over 1, which is just going to be 1/5. And if you notice, you get the same answer either way. So it doesn't actually matter how you do it. You will get the same answer regardless. So that's basically how to use L'Hopital's rule for the limit definition of derivatives. Sometimes it's just easier to do it this way, especially if you get confused with how the limit definition of derivative works. So if you have any questions about anything in this video, let me know.